Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'm going to be talking about some planetary placements and how they are going to affect this year of 2021, because we have got a monumental year about to occur with some pretty shocking events, I must say. But before I dig in here, I want to remind everyone to sign up for my free newsletter, where you will be able to get all of these transcripts delivered to your email address free. And my website where you can sign up is galacticcenter.org. And don't forget, while you're there, you can check out my spiritual line of jewelry, where I'm selling malas and spiritual representations of what we want to be reminded of. So one last thing, starting the end of January, if you want to learn Vedic astrology, I have a stellar all online school, and it is called University of Vedic Astrology.com. Check it out. So getting on with what this is all about. This aspect that I'm referring to, and aspects are actually planets' relationships to one another in the heavens. And so if they're conjunct, that's an aspect. If they're in opposition, that's an aspect. But I'm talking about a square aspect today, because square aspects, they're 90 degrees, create events. They truly do. This is like a hard aspect. And let me talk about the planet of Saturn as it forms a square to Uranus. This is powerful. Saturn and Uranus make a conjunction to each other once every 45 years. I mean, that is a long haul. But you see, there's these cyclic patterns, much like symbolically like the cycle of the moon. It comes to a point where there's a new moon, a full moon, and a quarter moon. Well, the new moon and the full moon, new moon's like a conjunction, opposition's the full moon, and the quarter moon is like the square. So it's the same relationship between the planets that they make to one another. They will make these conjunctions, oppositions, and squares. And those are the aspects that create events. So I wanted to talk about, first of all, what is Saturn and what is Uranus? What could this possibly mean, bringing these planets together in this very extreme event-oriented aspect, the square? So Uranus represents revolutions, change, change that happens unexpectedly. And it's about the future. It also is very explosive, and it's also something that deals with freedom. So there's this explosive event that should bring a newfounded freedom, but in order to get there, has to be a revolution. So, like I said, Saturn is quite opposite than Uranus. It deals with the past. It deals with the old. It deals with structures. And when you apply Uranus to that, it's breaking down the old structure. That's what this is going to bring about. Now, I'm going to start giving you some dates and times when this is all going to happen. But let me just say this. It's going to be happening throughout the year of 2021. Yes, even coming towards the end of January, early February, you're going to start seeing this explosive, revolutionary energy that is going to really change the world. Because this is what needs to happen. Too much has been bottled up, and it's about to come to the surface. So, to give you an idea of the last time, now we're going to be talking about the square, but the last time putting these two energies together in a conjunction, two of the previous times, the last time was 1988, and the time before that was 1942. Now this is the conjunction. This is going to give you relevance of what this can mean. And of course you have to realize that 1942 was when World War II was going on. One of the most destructive, horrible times on Earth. So much death. So much incredible pain and suffering happened during that time. And then you may not remember, but in 1988 was when the Pan Am jet was bombed and blew up over Lockerbie, Scotland. And this was a terrorist attack. And this really and truly started a lot of the terrorism that we have grown to find more commonplace in this era. But that was the beginning of something where they blew up an aircraft. And this is another thing that Uranus can rule, air travel. Now, it didn't necessarily mean that much in the other time frames, but let me just say, this is going to bring up so much change. And change is the key word for Uranus. Uranus also rules, well, it does rule astrology. So we're going to see a lot more interest coming around for this. But it also rules, as I said, aircrafts, airplanes, future, flying. And there's going to be much going on in the area of aviation with this. Now let's talk about when this aspect is due to occur, because it's going to happen 3 times this year. In the process where planets are transiting, they may go forward and then they may go backwards. And in this process of going forward and back, these outer planets with Saturn or Jupiter, they will form an aspect 3 times. Once when it's going forward, once when it's going backwards, and the 3rd time when it's going forward again and crossing over the same areas of the zodiac, usually where it was before. But in this case, Saturn is in Capricorn and Uranus is in Aries. Now realize that Aries is a very volatile sign. It deals with fast action, moving forward, unpredictable behavior because it's impulsive. Uranus in this impulsive energy can deal with some things that we didn't and cannot foresee or expect. So the first time that Uranus and Saturn will form a square to one another will be around February 17th through the 18th. This, of course, I'm talking about 2021. But when I give you these exact dates, realize it doesn't have to be right on that date, but around these times. And so we're going to start feeling this energy now in the month of January as we approach the end of January, and things will be so volatile as really all the seers I've been talking to. We all see the same thing happening, that January is going to be a very tumultuous month of radical extremes and explosive events. So around February 17th to 18th, that is exact. Then in its retrograde process, Saturn and Uranus will square again around June 14th. And then in the very last cycle, when it's moving forward and it's finishing up its business, it will be around December 23rd of 2021. So you can see this aspect really does dominate this whole year. It deals with explosive events of a revolution that's about to happen. A revolution that is about freedom. That's what I'm seeing absolutely for sure. So it's about a change that's going to set the pace for all of the future years to come. And it may seem a little scary, but it has to happen. It has to happen. And in this process of this happening, it's going to make the world much better. We have to go through this crisis, or we have to go through this tunnel to come to the other side of a new birth. We are birthing a new world here. And that's really why we're going through this. Because so many want to stay hooked on to the past and they don't want to change. Those are the ones that are going to have a hard time during these periods. And change isn't easy anyway, especially a change this foreign and this huge. We have to transform. Another thing that I feel like this is about is finances and money. Yes, this is going to be a major crisis in the financial markets as well. Watch and see. So I feel like this time that we're going to change the way that we exchange money. It's coming. This whole financial revolution, cryptocurrency, as well as the way that we base our money and exchange our money is all coming to an enormous change. People can't accept it. They don't believe in it, but it doesn't matter because it's here and it's going to be happening. You're going to see that this is the year that changes everything for everyone. Just like I said, 2020 would be that. This is even more crucial because 2020 made us look within if you use the time properly. And 2021 is where everything that came about and surfaced now is going to be implemented, and the whole world is going to go through an explosive transformational change like never before, creating the new world that all of you, whether you know it or not, want. And I'm not talking politics. I'm talking about the way that we treat each other and the way that the world is meant to be. It's a wake-up period. It is the new awakening. So realize that everything happens for a good reason, and we're all about to wake up, whether we want to or not. So with that, I'd like to close. Remember again, you can always go to my website to sign up for my newsletter, which is galacticcenter.org. And don't forget, I am starting a new class, January 27th, for the University of Vedic Astrology. Check out my website for my online university, which is University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.